his comments, seemingly describing Trump supporters as, quote, garbage. The Harris campaign is trying to downplay the effect of those comments. Of course they are. But I wonder if you think that those comments are going to move voters.
It's going to be huge, because this is not some comedian saying something stupid and offensive at a rally where he should have been basically disinvited. This is the president of the United States endorsing his vice president saying something. And I know that there's different interpretations about what he said. It's still inappropriate. You still should be doing it. And I've watched Trump already seize this. The basket of deplorables was significant, was meaningful in 2016. In 2024, I can promise you that this is going to drive Trump turnout. He's doing it already. I can see, I'm sure there's going to be ads on as soon as tonight about this. This may be a turning point for those final 3%, and that's all it is, who still need to be persuaded.
Little did that pollster Frank Luntz realize how prophetic his words would be. Trump has seized the momentum, the gift he just got from the king of gas, Biden himself. I mean, what is it that Barack Obama once said of Biden, right? Never underestimate Joe's ability to F things up. Well, here we go with 5 days left. Trump has seized all the momentum, all as Kamala's campaign has begun to visibly and palpably collapse. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we dive in here, gang, I'm going to be showing you how the legacy media is blatantly trying to cover up the Biden garbage fiasco. And that kind of blatant manipulation is why I use Ground News. Ground News is a website and app that gathers stories from over 50,000 sources every day, so you can get a complete view of what's happening in the world and see through media bias. Check it out for yourself at ground.news/Steve. So, for example, you remember when CBS cut off J.D. Vance's mic during the VP debate? Well, we could see that there are well over 125 articles about it. We could see that the majority of the coverage comes from the center, with about an even split between the left and the right. But if we start comparing the headlines to see what each side is saying, it's all right in front of us. So the left actually admitted Vance was explaining the legal process when they cut him off with this headline from Canada's CBC News. But notice the Washington Examiner. It's an outlet from the right. They pointed out that CBS actually broke their own rules in fact-checking Vance. So how can we trust CBS News when they break their own rules? I got to tell you about my favorite feature. It's the blind spot feed, and I use it so I know I'm getting a balanced view of the news. It features important stories covered by just one side of the political spectrum. So with the election just 5 days away, I simply could not recommend Ground News more. Just go to ground.news/Steve or click on the link in the description below, or even scan the QR code on the screen. Using my link gets you 40% off the Vantage plan, the same plan I use for unlimited access to all their features. When you support Ground News, you're also supporting the work we do here at Turley Talks. Click on that link below right now. Take a look at the cover of today's New York Post. Trump takes out the trash. I gotta give it to the New York Post. They know how to publish a splashy front page for sure. And President Trump knows how to deliver a knockout blow. Yesterday, he arrived in the key swing state of Wisconsin in a campaign-themed garbage truck and actually gave a press conference from the passenger seat.
Is answering some questions from reporters.
Joe Biden to make that statement, it's really a disgrace.
President Trump, you said the other day that the military could be used, that the military or the National Guard could be used on election day if necessary. Can you explain what you meant by that in detail?
I don't think they'll have to be used. I think we're going to have a big victory. And I think 250 million people in this country are going to be very happy because we're going to bring the country back. We're a nation in decline, very, very serious decline. And we're going to bring our country back.
And then, of course, he entered the Wisconsin rally wearing the orange vest from the garbage truck.
And I come into the arena and I say, where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing. And they said, it would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage. I said, And I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, you know, it actually makes you look thinner. I said, oh. And they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I look thinner, I said, in that case, I'll wear it on stage.
I mean, the guy is having so much fun right now. And by the way, he mentioned earlier that one of his staff had said to him that the word garbage was the hottest thing out there right now. He's right. Take a look at the top Google searches. The top blue line indicates the amount of searches for garbage Biden, which is through the roof. And the bottom flat red line is the search interest for garbage Puerto Rico, which literally nobody cares about anymore. So thank you, Joe Biden, the Gaffe gift that keeps on giving. Now, of course, right on cue, the legacy media is frantically running around in total damage control mode. They're doing absolutely everything they possibly can to try to rescue Kamala from this garbage disaster. And one of the ways they're attempting this is by deliberately sanitizing Biden's words. Have you seen this? The White House and some legacy media outlets have actually altered what he said in the official transcript. They went back and they've attempted to gaslight voters into thinking that Biden said something he didn't actually say. Now, the technical term for this is what's called interpolation. How's that for a fancy schmancy word? Interpolation is when you go back and you deliberately alter a text, right? And this is a de facto interpolation. This is exactly what the White House did with their official transcript of what Biden said. And that's exactly what Politico, which is effectively a mouthpiece for the DNC, reprinted. Take a look. They interpolated an apostrophe. So they have Biden saying, the only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters, apostrophe S, as if he were saying his supporters' garbage. The only garbage that's out there is garbage belonging to his supporters. Now, gang, I taught hermeneutics and exegesis, how to interpret a written text for years. And I can tell you straight out, that is not even remotely what Biden said. I mean, you want to talk about alternative facts, gang. Alternative facts. Apparently, the writers of Politico can hear a silent apostrophe. They can hear a silent apostrophe. Now Joe Scarborough's freaking out about the context of what he said, right? Those very fine people, hoax perpetrators, are now all freaking out over context. Interesting. It's going to be a bloodbath. Hoax spreaders are now very, very concerned about the context for words. I mean, this is the very definition of alternative facts, let alone alternative reality. This shows you the shameless depths the legacy media is willing to descend to provide favorable cover for Kamala and the Democrats. It's utterly, pathetically pitiful. And the beauty is, it's too late. Apparently, plenty of woke leftists did not get, shall we say, the grammatical memo. Check it out.
I'm of the mindset that if you say it, you might as well just embrace it. And I do think that that's a problem for realistically. Like, I do think if he said, listen, yeah, I do mean all those racist supporters of Donald Trump. Yeah, I do think that they're terrible.
So I guess that guy didn't see their interpolated transcript. He's like, yeah, Biden should just double down on that. Yeah, that's right. Trump supporters are a bunch of racist garbage. Yeah, double down on it. Yeah. Again, this is the problem. You can't spend the final lap of your campaign calling Trump Hitler and his supporters fascists, but then suddenly plausibly draw an unassailable line at calling them garbage. It just rings so hollow. Yeah, you're a bunch of Hitler-loving fascists, but you're not garbage. And this guy at CNN ain't the only one who didn't get the memo. Talk about the Gaffe gift that keeps on giving.
Trust me, there is a completely unfair standard with Donald Trump. I'm saying there's an unfair standard where his supporters have just decided it's baked in when he insults people, but they do take offense. Deplorables did matter. That comment from Hillary Clinton did matter. But I would say that Joe Biden is still the president. I'd like him to be working on getting the hostages back. He does not.
Did you hear what Whoopi just said there? I mean, she was right. She was right. It turns out Hillary Clinton was right. Trump supporters are deplorables. She doubled down. She doubled down on the very disparagement that Politico and the White House are so desperately trying to sanitize. And that for me, gang, when all's said and done, 5 days out, that for me is the huge takeaway from all of this. This is inevitably what happens when your campaign unravels. There's a video going viral now of Harris looking just completely deflated and defeated. And that look in her face is typical of what happens when a campaign just runs out of steam. It runs out of gas. It runs out of message. And the irony is that when the campaign runs out of script, they end up showing themselves for who they really are. And in this case, what we're seeing is that the Joy, 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 Joy campaign actually, in reality, at its heart, was always the single most hate-filled, miserable, psychopathic campaign in memory. Kamala has run out of message. And so now it's just Trump and his followers are a bunch of Nazi garbage. And her followers, like Whoopi and that guy on CNN, start spewing out precisely that kind of vitriol. There's no way in the midst of an unraveling campaign that Politico or the White House can successfully sanitize that vitriol. Everyone is seeing it. Everyone is hearing it. And what's so key here is that none of this is intentional. It's not a deliberate strategy. It's the natural outworking of what happens when a campaign begins to unravel. And by the way, I'm seeing it among my pro-Kamala friends. I'll let you in on the end. This is just anecdotal, no question, just anecdotal. But on Facebook, I mean, I'm seeing it. You may be seeing it too. I mean, I've got some old friends from way, 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 way back who are huge Kamala supporters, and they are absolute destitute and despondent right now. They've all but admitted defeat. They see it. They see Trump absolutely crushing it, having so much fun. They see the massive crowds and the going wild, all the momentum behind him. They see the polls. They see the voter registers. They see the early voting. And they see Kamala collapsing. And they're totally deflated right now. This Kamala campaign reeks of decline. And in 5 days, it ironically, appears poised to take its place on the ash heap of history.